Here he is, Jeff Saturday, after the bye week and a successful high school football campaign and all kinds of things going on at ESPN, but more importantly, here on the morning after. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Outstanding. A 3-game winning streak. What in the world is going on here?
I love it. They're finding that rhythm, man. You're seeing it. You're seeing Luck kind of become or get used to the offense. You're seeing he's making the right reads on time. Offensive line, give him a ton of credit. Those guys are doing a fantastic four games in a row with but more than that, just the physicality they're playing with on top of it. I mean, it's not just their pass blocking. They're giving him a nice pocket. He's executing. Guys are getting open. And then probably the biggest surprise, in my opinion, is the defense. They have just played so far beyond probably what my expectations were of them. But each and every week, you're just seeing guys make plays, even to finish it off yesterday. Strip. I mean, just headsy play to get the strip and to go for the ball and attack the ball as they're getting close to field goal range. Just give them a ton of credit, man. It's just fun to watch. And as a fan, as well as an analyst, but as a fan, more importantly, man, a former Colt dude, I love it. I love what I'm seeing.
Jeff, it seems like this win streak started when the trenches got figured out and they settled on that 5-man group up front, the 3 first-round picks, a second-rounder, a right tackle, a fourth-rounder at right guard. How much do you put on that group and just the way they physically kind of established themselves against a Jacksonville front that's very formidable as being the difference here now that they are, near and 500 for the first time in a while?
No, I think that's the biggest portion of it. I mean, we talked about it even before. Is so many of the problems from the Colts offense in years past have stemmed off of Luck taking shots. And it changing who you are as a quarterback. I mean, the reality is you saw it with Tom Brady yesterday. When guys get to you, the game changes. And the Tennessee Titans got to him. When guys get to you as a quarterback, your game changes. And so I think making a thoughtful and a really kind of a full all in on the offensive line that Chris Ballard and Frank have done. It's given them this confidence, and you're watching them play together and build together. And I equate it to the same as a quarterback-receiver relationship. Offensive linemen that play together week in and week out, you begin to understand, hey, what the guy beside me is thinking. And it didn't happen overnight. It's going to continue to grow, and organically it'll grow. But you're watching that. You're watching the physicality that they all play with, trading off games in defensive line games and blitzes. All of those things are getting better. And then when you have a quarterback who understands the timing of getting rid of the ball, which was one thing that Peyton Manning was exceptional at, and you're watching Andrew get better at it every week, all those things go together to really give your offense a huge lift.
Jeff Saturday here on the morning after on FM 107.5, 1070 The Fan. Jeff, second half, I thought it was a terrific game plan for Jacksonville. They came out, they controlled the ball, they just ran it. They used the quick pass to the outside again and again and again. And then the Colts had 2 big drops. One was a drop, and one was really the mishandle by Mo Alley Cox that resulted in the interception that really stymied any kind of rhythm for them. What happens in a football game when all of a sudden a team that's cruising comes out in the second half and can't find a rhythm at all? What was going on there?
Well, it's one of those things when you're playing, there's going to be ups and downs in any game. We used to talk about it. You got to survive the storms, right? There's going to be storms that happen in games, and you got to kind of weather it. And as good teams find ways to win, even when you're not at your best, right? When you're not as sharp as you want to be, like you said, you make a couple errors, or you give the team, you give the other team some momentum. What I did think was impressive. Like you said, they're moving the ball, but there was no panic. I mean, you didn't see the Colts, kind of scrap the game plan. Like you said, it was mistakes that they made that kind of kept Jacksonville in it. But I never felt like there was, oh my word, we're not going to be able to finish this. We're not going to be able to close it out. I didn't feel that chaos, and so I think Frank's done a really good job of making sure guys understand we're going to be a 4-quarter team. We're going to play the last drive. I mean, think about how many games they've had in that last drive this season alone, and he's kind of building it in them. And most football games in the NFL are going to be decided on the last drive, one way or another. So, like I said, there's going to be ebbs and flows of the game. They weren't the sharpest they could be, like you said, coming back out. But man, they held on, and you have to do that. Listen, it's not always going to click. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. So had a lot of respect for the way they handled it yesterday.
Jeff, you touched earlier on the play of Andrew Luck, and his current pace these last 3 games, honestly, is probably the best 3-game stretch, at least the most efficient 3-game stretch of his career. What do you point to as to why Luck has been so efficient here the last couple weeks?
Well, I think the offensive staff has done a great job of putting them in the right plays. I mean, you think of the little dump-off pass to Doyle coming out of the other side where he's going to fake blocking and then run by and you can drop it off. Ebron, I think I want to say it was either 2 or 3 the big plays for him were basically blown coverages with good design. I mean, where he's going to be open in the corner. That's all. Listen, that's all coaching. When they see a weakness or they see something that a defense bets on or is going to decide to gamble, the corner's going to drive up or the linebacker's going to try to clear that space and get there, and they find those things. That's good coaching. And when you see guys running open at that many times a game, not one time, but that many times a game, you can tell they put together a very clean game plan. And I saw it yesterday, and I think those things, he's finding his rhythm. When I came up there and visited in preseason, because it is a brand-new offense, the one thing I saw was that he was a hair late on a lot, being Andrew Luck. He was a hair late on some throws and some decisions. He's now caught up, right, because he's seeing it week in and week out. You've limited the entire game plan. It's very game plan specific now, and so you're seeing that when that back foot hits, he's letting the ball go. He's on time. Receivers are expecting it at the same time. They're building that trust, but that's what I attribute it to, is a really good game plan and good execution for Andrew Luck and the entire offense.
Jeff, the Tennessee Titans coming up next week. Man, did they stick it to the New England Patriots yesterday? What happened in that football game, and why is Tennessee starting to play pretty good football?
Oh, I tell you, if you were a Colts fan back in the day when we had those Patriots-Colts rivalries, the way that Mike Vrabel played Tom Brady was the way that New England played us with Peyton as our quarterback. They did a really good job of jamming receivers and not letting guys free release and then adding in on the pass rush. Lots of games with their defensive line and their linebackers, and then adding on a corner or a safety in there. And the Patriots just didn't do a great job of trading all that off. And when you get Tom Brady off his mark, which means you make him move his feet in the pocket and he can't step up and throw the ball early because you're jamming guys outside, it throws the entire rhythm off of that offense. And then when you add on not having Gronk in that same mix, that's normally where he would want to go on a bunch of those quick throws and balls that got to come out fast. They had a great game plan. And then physically up front, they just manhandled them. I mean, they threw them around and did a really good job, executing their offense, and big plays by Corey Davis and Mariota dropping it in. They really singled out Gilmore and went after him, kind of attacked him early. So they had a good game plan, man. And look, the Patriots, when they're bad this season, they've been real bad. So it's one of those things. The Titans took advantage of it and smothered them early.
Jeff, what are your thoughts right now on the AFC? And I kind of want to look middle of the pack, that second wild card. It seems like the Chargers or the Chiefs, one of those teams, whoever wins the West, and the other one will be the wild card. But the Colts are just a game back of that second wild card spot. So do teams like the Bengals, the Titans, the Ravens, anyone jump out at you as a team that you think here in the second half of the season will go ahead and claim that second wild card spot?
Oh man, I think everybody, in my opinion, it's going to be the execution of kind of all the teams. Like you saw the Bengals yesterday, they just got run through. I mean, by the Saints, right? They show up, and then you see Tennessee, who will have this light up type game against the Patriots, and hang up 30 points, and then this week they may score 9. I mean, there's just no consistency and pretty much of where people are. I think it's up for grabs. In all honesty, I think. When I look at the Colts and everybody asks me, what I thought they could possibly be this year, that 8-8, 9-7, they could get up in that mix. You're going to have some opportunities to go beat teams and knock them down. The Chargers, I would say, like you said, they're, in my opinion, they're the smoothest sailing. Either they or the Chiefs. and it's because of their run game. And I would say that for all of those teams, each of them have kind of an Achilles heel. For the Titans, it would be, Mariota. Can he carry you enough to win if everybody takes the run game? And for the Colts, can we run it enough to go win games with Andrew Luck and with our defense? If you just take everything out and take Andrew away, can we be disciplined enough to do it that way? So everybody kind of has their issues, but in my mind, there's no clear walk-in to that second spot.
Well, let's put it this way. They've got games coming up now against Tennessee, who's 5-4, Miami, who's 5-5. Then they play at Jacksonville again, who I think they might have put away yesterday. But honestly, if you look at the next three, and I hope I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, it's right there. Those are the teams that they need to beat to get a leg up, right? I mean, this is kind of what a team wants.
No, listen, your future is in your hands. If you're the Colts and you're sitting home tonight after yesterday, you're thinking, hey, this is my opportunity. I mean, I can go make the most. There's going to be no excuses at the end of the season. You will say, hey, it was laid out in November. You knew you had a shot to go do this. And this is when this is when it really counts. I mean, in all honesty, everybody talks about as the season progresses, but you hit November, and this is when it really matters. Can you go close teams out, like you said, take them out of the playoffs and get another step for your playoff hopes? They got it all in front of them, man. I'm excited to watch it.
And the first step in that will come on Sunday, like you mentioned, Jeff, against the Titans. Ring of Honor Day for Reggie Wayne. Will you be in the building?
I'll be in the house, baby. Looking forward to it, man. Coming back to see Weezy and put everybody in, man. It's going to be a great time. Looking forward to it, man. He's a heck of a receiver and well-deserved, and I can't wait to see all my brethren, man. It's always a good time when we get together.
He's already told the hotel clerk to keep us away, so we're good.
Do you have a favorite Reggie Wayne catch memory? Obviously, you played quite a while with him, and he'll join you in the Ring of Honor on Sunday. But what stands out to you as a favorite Reggie catch?
Oh man, you know what? I don't have one. This is what I love about Reggie, and my son who plays receiver. I used to tell him all the time when he came across on that little short dig or that little short end, and he made that catch with his hands. There was a certain sound that you heard. I mean, the ball comes out, and as a center, usually I was sliding the way of where the catch was going to be coming, so my eyes would go naturally to the ball. And you would see him snatch the ball out of the air with his hands and then put his foot in the ground and just get vertical, and all of a sudden a 2 or 3 yard catch would become a 10-yard catch. And I used to tell my son all the time, you want to talk about a guy who trusts his hands more than any other receiver I'd been around. That was Reggie, man. I mean, the guy was an awesome teammate, man. He was great in the locker room, but an even better player. You just when you watch him play, he was so much fun to be around, and he had such a good attitude about it. And he could always beat you deep. But those hands coming across the middle, there was no fear. And hey, it was a different time. Now you come across the middle, someone trying to lay you out. You can't do it nearly as much nowadays. But he had some courage coming across, and it made him one of the best in Colts history, man, in the NFL as well.
So many special guys from that group. Yourself, Reggie Wayne. Everybody knows about Peyton Manning, and the list goes on and on. We could talk about defenders all day long too, and Brackett, Freeney, and everybody else. What is it that made that group so special? Was it just a rare collection of special guys coming together, or was there something in the secret sauce that kind of rubbed off on everyone?
I think everybody kind of had a chip on their shoulder. When you think about who we were coming in, there were a lot of, not quite as good as others. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was Reggie, even though he was in the first round, there's some other guys that are probably, for Brackett, for myself, for Mathis, for all of the guys, he's not quite big enough. Not really he's not NFL size. He's not NFL whatever. And I think we all just had that mentality. We're going to outwork people. And that nucleus stayed together for so long. And we fought for each other, man. I mean, we hung out together. Our families knew each other well. We were in the same neighborhoods. Like, we were really about it. I mean, it was truly a family as we were going. And I have so many fond memories off the field, is equal as on the field. And after the games and sitting under the bus and hanging out the plane rides, all of those things contributed. We were really together. And so it was one of those special runs where the guys and the team complemented each other so well because we all had that same mentality that we were going to come up, show up, be ready to work. Our practices were sharp. There were never guys you had to pull along. Everybody was linked arm in arm, walking forward, man. It was a special, special time. I had a ton of fun doing it.
Jeff, last one from me, going back to the present-day Colts. We have seen the clip now over and over again of Quentin Nelson just eating up Barry Church yesterday on that pole. Your thoughts on what you've seen from Nelson here through the first 9 games?
Oh, man, he has played lights out. I mean, people, and I'll actually show that one on NFL Primetime today and Sports Center and those kind of things. But this is not a one-off. I mean, if you go back and watch his tape, he has done a really good job on all his pulls and traps, even trap pass yesterday. He did a very nice job. The one where Luck steps up and kind of bends and throws it to Doyle on the right hash, and so on the right sideline. And so he's done a really good job. But it's not just him; it's all those guys playing together. But Big Q, man, I'm telling you, he will come at you with everything and then some. Man, he plays with that nastiness and that intensity that other guys feed off of. And it's fun to watch, man. I love watching the mentality that the Colts O-line is now exhibiting, and it's going to continue to grow with these young pups, all in together and growing together. Man, these guys are flying around. They're laying hat on people, and for a former O-lineman, man, on that squad, dude, I love it. It's fun. It's fun to be a part of and watch.
We'll be watching for you on ESPN all day long, and we'll talk to you again next Monday on the Morning After with Jeff Saturday. Have a great week, my friend.
You guys as well, man. Great talking to you.